Hey, it's Raytheon here. Today is Wednesday, January 15th. And in today's video, I'm going to be having a response video with the Y2K collector. He came out with a video in pertaining to video game stores closing. And I wanted to give a little bit of my feedback. So, I've had a few experiences with video game stores in the past couple years now. I just had a recent one, which I'll talk about right now. So I went into this game store about this past weekend, and I honestly think a lot of the issues strive a lot of like what I've seen so far with video game stores is that I know they have a business to run, and I get that they have bills to pay, but at the end of the day, the customers that come into the store and purchase certain things, as well as games and do trade-ins and stuff, are essential to their business. And I think that most video game stores have lost their way in believing that the customers are not necessarily always right, but essentially important to their business. And I think it strives from greed, a little bit of greed. So I went to this game store in Georgia, and I walked in and just sharing my experience with it. I was like probably like the third person to take in a trade-in. I had a PS3 console, just a console only. I had a couple comic books, and I had a few games, and I had this Game Shark right here. Now, I have this Game Shark because it's very important in this video. In this, it's really important. Excuse me. In this conversation, so I go up to the teller. She said I'm like the third one in line. She tells me, "Yeah, you can just look around." So I browsed around for a little bit. Another guy came up to me and just said, "Yeah, we're taking in a big trade right now, so just bear with us. We'll get to you eventually." Now, when they eventually got to me, the store owner, she looked over everything. She picked out the stuff that she didn't really want, and this was part of the deal in that. So I was over there by the PS2 section, and she said, "Yeah, I'm ready for your trade now. I have an offer to make you." So they were offering me $70 for all the stuff that I had. Now, keep in mind, this Game Shark is like $170 or $150, somewhere in there on eBay. And it sells consistently for that price all day long. So when they gave me that offer, and I was just like, I don't think I could do that. What's the cost? What's the price breakdown on it? She's like, well, this and this, mainly of your value is coming from this. So she's like, take some time, think about it, come back and decide whether you want to make the trade or not. So I sat around, walked around and thought about it, came back to her, and I was just like, you know what? If you can come up a little bit, I can probably make, we could probably do this trade. And it just ended up I ended up just taking it out of the deal because it just wasn't worth it. And I think it strives from not really greed, but the price of games and how things are currently. Now, there were 3 other people that I mentioned that were in front of me before they got to me with dealing with my trade. And the disappointment on their faces, a lot of disappointment. Some person came in with complete in box Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy games, and the offer that they were getting was like probably like next to nothing, pretty much. And their expressions on their face were like, we're never coming back here again. And as well as the first person that had the big trade, a lady came in with I kid you not, a briefcase filled with PS1 games, like heavy hitters like Tumba 2, Tumba 1, Silent Hills. And, you know, I overheard the price offers of like around $500. I think it was like $500 for everything. And, you know, this is a couple's kind of video game owned store. And I'm not striking them in any way. It's just that, you know, you have to take care of your customers. And I think a lot of game stores have lost their way in taking care of their customers. You know, it's just, it's ridiculous that, you know, they have an overhead cost, and I get that and I understand that. But at the end of the day, you know, if no customers are coming in to buy your stuff or return or tell other people about your store, how are you going to make it in this world? And how is your game store going to be successful? So I think a lot of it has a lot to do with greed. And I think a lot of it has, most of it has a lot to do with their expenses and stuff. So I think they need to work on, especially the trade-in values and taking care of their customers. That's just my opinion. I just thought I'd just give you my 2 cents on that. But appreciate you, Y2K Collector, for the conversation. I just wanted to put that in there. But this is Raytheon, and you guys take care.